Never mind. Yes, I welcome you all for this online class on transmission and distribution. I'll be handling module 5 for the classes which are going to be there by next week or maybe a week more. That is maybe within 15th, I'm planning to complete it. Okay, so that is module number 5, and we are ahead with the completion of the syllabus and we are right on track. Okay, and there is no other discrepancies other than network issues and all. Okay, so yes, the problems has to be solved using a digital whiteboard. From the next week we'll be starting with the digital whiteboard. Okay, and we will see to it that you will be getting the classes. Most of the classes will be digital whiteboard from here onwards. Okay, that's on uh, next week. We'll be having it from digital whiteboard. Okay, so I welcome you all again to this online class on transmission and distribution module number 5, distribution systems. And we were dealing with DC distributor systems, the uniformly loaded. Okay, so we were discussing with uniformly loaded distributor, which is fed at one end. Okay, so that is what we were discussing, and we wanted you to solve some numerical problems which are there, and you want to get a better understanding of what do you mean by uniformly distributed, which is fed at one end. Okay, so when it is fed at both the ends, what will be the reason? Okay, so you need to have the uniformly distributed line, so where the current value per meter length of the line for every meter of the line length, that is the distributor line length. Okay, so that is said to be having equal value of current. Okay, so that is I amperes of current that is flowing or that is tapped from the distributor. The load is being tapped is I amperes. Okay, so when you got L meters of the distributor length, that is the line length of the distributor, we have R ohm per meter run. So when I say meter run, it is nothing but the length of the distributor where resistance is taken as per meter length. Okay, for 1 meter, say if I say 5 ohm per meter, so the value of the resistance is said to be 5 ohm per meter. Okay, so that is what you will be understanding from it. Okay, so let's move ahead with the derivation. I had already done it, so let me brief in small time. So dV, that would be equal to I times L minus X. Why did we take it? So we took a point C and we took dx as a small change in the length, and the voltage drop over the distributor is taken as half IR L squared. So this L is again what we got it from 0 to X when we integrate it. So up to a point C, we have got the distributor length. Okay, so now what I'll be doing is I'll be having the total current entering the point A and total resistance of the distributor. Okay, so that is what we are going to do, and we are going to have a two-wire DC distributor which is 200 meters long. So this is a problem we already solved it. Okay, and up to the point X we have 150-meter length of the line, and total current entering the distributor, that would be 400 amperes, and total resistance is 0.12 ohm. Okay, and I have already given certain problems for students, Nidhishri and the other person has already solved it, and they were quite good in getting the answers. Okay, Ambika, yes, it is Ambika and Nidhishri. So they have solved the problem, and they have circulated the answer in the group. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So this is a small derivation similar to that. You can go through it. It would be more or less the quiet way. And here you got the power loss. Okay, so the power loss has to be explained here. So it is quite simple. Uh, Once you know the voltage or the current in the loaded distributor, uniformly loaded distributor, which is fed at one end, so you can easily find out the power loss either by like taking I squared R. Okay, so if you take I squared R, that would be easy, and you can find out the power loss in that small length and integrate it over the whole distributor. Okay, so you will be getting the power equation as I squared R L cube divided by 3. Okay, so that is the equation what you are going to get. Fine. So let me move on to the next one. That is the similar problem on it, where you can find out the power loss in the distributor. Okay, so these are some tutorial problems. I want all of you to make an attempt to solve these problems, which are quite important. You might get it even though it is not there in the syllabus wise. Okay, so if I want to talk only about the syllabus, the AC distribution is where we are going to start it. But if you don't have an idea of what is a DC distributor, okay, so why am I stressing out so much? Okay, so you will be having some energy storage systems later on within the next 5 to 10 years. So most of the energy which is stored generally, it is DC in nature. Okay, so if you don't distribute the energy from the local energy storage grids to your houses or any domestic application that is connected, so it would be relevant to use the DC distributor system. Okay, so that is where we are I'm quite interested in highlighting the DC distributor concept. Okay, now let us move on to the next one. We are done with the uniformly loaded. So now let us concentrate on the distributor fed at both ends with the concentrated loading. Okay, so what happens when I have a distributor? That is the type of the loading is the concentrated loading, and the distributor fed will be at both ends. Okay, so let us go in detail now in understanding what it is. So it is possible that a long distributor which is being fed at both ends at instead of one end. So why such things? So that it can have a total voltage drop which is considerably reduced without increasing the area of cross section of the conductor. Okay, so there are few things that you need to keep in mind. That is the voltage drop. Okay, so if a voltage drop occurs on the distributor, that is the DC distributor, so you will be having the voltage at the consumer terminals or the consumer premises to be relatively low, and it damages the equipment. Okay, so once I have this DC distributor which is there, so I need to maintain a constant voltage. Okay, so I need to reduce the voltage drop which is there considerably and increasing the area of cross section. So what happens when you have an increase in the area of cross section? You have generally an increase in the cost. That is, the economic considerations will also come into picture. Okay, so that is the reason why you will be having the voltage to be fed at both ends in case of the concentrated loading. Okay, so the two ends of the distributor, it might be once when I say it is fed at both ends, I have two chances, that is the equal voltages and the unequal voltage. Okay, so what happens when I have equal voltage and the second one is the unequal voltage? So let us see in detail what will happen. So once when I say it is equal voltages, both the ends are fed at equal voltages. Next, unequal voltages. Okay, so one voltage is differing by some volts. Okay, or the voltage difference will be there with respect to both the ends of the distributor. Okay, so that is where we are going to find out. So first, let us understand what do you mean by the DC distributor in a concentrated loading which is fed at equal voltages. Next comes a point of minimum potential. I'll tell you about it. So next comes the unequal voltages. Okay, so let us discuss in detail right now regarding the equal voltages. Okay, so once when I said it, the point of the distributor, that is both at equal voltages when the potentials are at equal voltages. So when both the ends are fed at equal voltages, what will happen? Okay, so when I consider a DC distributor which is fed at both ends with equal voltages V, okay, having concentrated loading, I'm sure that most of you would have understood the representation of the concentrated loading in the single line diagram. So you have the points C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, so I'll tell you about the point of minimum potential also once when I draw this diagram, and with the help of equations, let me try to analyze the point of minimum potential, what it is. Okay, so now I have this concentrated loads, that is equal voltages, V volts, having I1, I2, I3, I4, and I5. Okay, so all the currents that are there, and you will be having C, D, E, F, and G respectively. Okay, so as we move away from one of the feeding points, okay, so what are the feeding points here? Point A and point B, because it is fed at both the voltages. Okay, so I mean both ends are fed at equal voltages. Okay, so now what you say, if I move from any of the points, if I move it from B, I need to take a reference as B, or if I move it from A, I'll need to take a reference as A, whatever the voltage that I feed to that point. Okay, so when I say the voltage is at point A, the potential difference goes on decreasing till a minimum value is reached at a load point. Okay, so I take C and D as considerable voltage drop which is there. So I come to a point E, and then again starts increasing and it becomes V, because so both the ends are to be fed with equal voltages, and it starts rising and it becomes V volts as we reach the other feeding point, because the voltage has to be fed and it has to reach. Okay, so that is the reason why you will be having the voltage which is feeding at point A will be decreasing, and once you have the other feeding which is there at point B, and then it keeps increasing because you are supplying voltage. Okay, so it is more or less like you have a like water tank. Okay, so generally you have two water tanks which are filled. So once you have one of the water tank coming to an empty state, you have a point of minimum potential. Okay, so that is where the other water tank will come in and it will supply the water. Okay, so that is where you are having the voltage here which will be increased and it will be becoming to V volt. Okay, so that is where we will be having the other point, that is point B. Okay, the end B is said to be increasing and it becomes V volts as we reach the other feeding point. Okay, so now let us understand with the help of certain equations which are there. As I told you that it is concentrated loading and you have a minimum potential difference point of E which will be supplied. Okay, so with the having a feeding point A. So while those which are tapped off from between B and E, and it will be supplied by feeding point B. Okay, so the point of minimum potential what I take here. So if I say five tappings are to be taken. So the middle point or middle one would be generally taken as point E. Okay, so that is where you will be having the point of minimum potential. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and you can talk with me. If you have any doubts up to this point regarding the distributor fed at both ends, you can talk with me. Okay, so now if the currents are X and Y, so what is there here? So you have the current X, that is I1 plus I2, and whatever the currents that are flowing in the sections that are there up to this point. So X will be equal to, okay, so that will be the total currents which are there in all the sections from A to E. Okay, so A to E, you have section AC, CD, and DE. Okay, so three sections are there. Now similarly you have the total currents which are said to be Y. Okay, so you have section BG, GF, and FE. So that is taken as Y. Okay, so that is taken as Y. Fine with that. So let us understand. I have a current I3 which is given as a sum of currents X and Y respectively. That is X plus Y, which is taken as I3. Okay. So therefore, what we say here is, so you have a point E which is taken as the minimum potential, and current comes from both the ends of the distributor. Is that right? Now, how do I establish a point of minimum potential? It is generally desired to locate the point of minimum potential. It's a simple method what we are going to understand. So you have to draw the concentrated loadings from one part. Okay, so you have to represent it like this. Okay, so let us take these diagrams which are there, and let us try to understand what is the potential drop between the points A and B. So that is where we take it as entire distributor line length. Okay, so once I start IAC, that is having a current flow of IA. Next, CD. So I1 is there. The current flow in CD section is IA minus I1. Okay. Next, similarly, IDE, which will be IA minus I1 minus I2, and IEB is taken as IA minus I1 minus I2 minus I3. Okay, so that is what all the sections currents are given like this. Okay, so these are the relevant set of equations what you have got, and you are going to get these equations like this. Correct. So now let us understand the potential drop in A and B. So the voltage drop across A and B. So if I want to take a potential drop, okay, so that would be potential at A minus potential at B. Okay, so simple closed network sort of approach what we are doing here. So that would be V minus V. So both the ends are having the same voltage. Okay, so now when I take potential drop over the entire section AB, so I need to take the current and also the resistance. Okay, so let us take it in all the sections, that is the voltage drop in all the sections. So what do we know? So we have to calculate what is IA. Okay, so the unknown is IA, and it can be calculated as the values of other quantities which are generally given. Okay, so suppose the actual direction of current in various sections of the distributor are indicated. Okay, so with the given equations like this. Okay, so in equation 1, I mean the figure 1 which we wrote the equation, the current directions was not given. Okay, so if I have this current directions which is given right now, okay, so what will happen? I can easily write down what will be the value of the uh, unknown current, that is IA. Okay, so actual directions of the current in various section of the distributor should be indicated, and the load point where the currents are coming from both sides of the distributor is called as the minimum potential. Okay, minimum potential is taken as E here, because whatever the potential drops that are there, so at a particular point it reaches a minimum. And when can you have a change in the direction? Any idea when can you have a change in the direction? Any idea? When can you exhibit a change in the direction? Does VAB equals minus VBA means? What does it mean? So when I say minus 6 amperes of current from B to A, what does it mean? So you have a current flow like A to B. I'll give you an example. Suppose you have a flow of current that is from point A to point B. You take it as 5 amperes. Okay. So again, if you want to find out what is B to A, okay, so it would be anyone in the meeting, what it would be, the current flow. Yeah, how will you write it? Yeah, how will you write it? Anyone? So it is minus 5 amperes, right? So similarly, you have a point E, which is taken as a minimum potential point in the above case there. Okay, so that is the reason why you will be having to find out the current IA once you know the directions properly, and once you exhibit a reversal in the values, that is the magnitude, so you will be getting the minimum potential point. Okay, so for example, if C to D you get a positive value, D to E you get a positive value, and again from E to B you get a negative. Okay, so D to E a positive value, E to B you are getting a negative value. Once you have this change in the sign, then you can exhibit a change in the potential, or we can find out the minimum potential point which is exhibiting a change in the potential value. Okay, so this is what we are going to understand from the equations mentioned here. Okay, Fine. So any doubts up to this point? Anyone? You can unmute yourself and you can talk with me. You can unmute yourself and you can talk with me. Okay. So now whatever that we are doing for unequal voltages right now, what I'm going to explain it right now in a few minutes. Okay. So the same equations holds good for unequal voltages. The only change what you're going to see here, when both the ends, that is end A and end B of a DC distributor, it is having fed at V1 and V2, which are at different potentials. Okay. So when I say V1 and V2 are at different potentials, V1 is not equal to V2. Okay. So that is what you are going to find out. And the point of minimum potential can be certainly found as the above equation. Okay. So we can find out the voltage drop between A and B. That would be equal to voltage drop over AB. Okay. So that is what we are going to find out with this approach here. Okay. So this is what a slight change what we observed in the unequal voltages. Okay. So we have completed the concept of DC distributor with a concentrated loading. Okay. With a concentrated loading where the both the ends are fed at one, that is the equal voltages, and the other one with the unequal voltages. Okay. So that is what we are going to highlight in the problems also. Okay. So any doubts up to this point, you can let me know, or else we'll move on to the numerical problems. Again, I'll be giving some of the problems to certain people. They'll be posting it in the group. Okay, so let us start right now with the numerical problems, and I want every one of you to have your book and calculator with you right now. Okay. Okay, so hope you have already got it, and so let us start right now. Okay, so this is the first problem, 13.10, what you can observe in the textbook also. Okay, and you got 13.11. Okay, so these are the two problems which I'll be explaining in detail. One, that is the equal voltages, and next one, let me see. Yes, yeah, okay. Yes, next one is the unequal one. Yeah, got it. Okay, then. So let's start right now. The first problem goes like this: a two-wire DC street mains. Okay, so you have a street mains that supplies a DC distributor that is supplied the DC supply. Okay, so you are having a straight mains of length 600 meter. Okay, so point A to point B, it is taken as 600 meter length, and it is fed at both ends from 220 volt. Okay, what it says here, it is fed at both ends at 220 volt. It means you have equal voltages there, which is 220 volt DC supply. Okay, so now you got the loads. Okay, you got loads of 20 ampere, 40 ampere, 50 and 30 amperes, which are at a distances of 100 meter, 250, 400 and 500 meter. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 and 4 that are there, and from end A. Okay, so if the area of cross section of the distributor conductor is 1 centimeter squared, find the minimum consumer voltage and take rho as 1.7 into 10 power minus 6 ohm centimeter. Okay, so this is the problem that is given, and write down the network here. Write down the representation. Okay, hope you have written down the network now. So if I have this distributor, what is shown here, so let me take a current. I don't know the value of current, so let me take it as IA because it starts from A. If I take as a reference, the currents in various sections are to be shown like this. Okay, so I got IA. Okay, the feeding point will be C. First feeding point, I take it as C. Next is D. Okay, so at C I have 20 ampere load. So what is the current in section CD? It is IA minus 20. After 100 meter I have point C and 20 amperes is taken out. So it is IA minus 20 which is flowing in section CD. Okay, so I have point D here, which is 40 amperes again. What I'll do, it is IA minus 60. Again, after 120 meters, I have 150 meters, I have point D. And after 150 meters from point D, I have point E. Okay, so I'll be having IA minus 110, that is there, that is flowing, and you have 30 amperes again. Okay, so I have similar load points which are there, and I'll be having 20, 40, 50, and 30 amperes. Okay, so that are there at distances what is shown there. Okay, so now let us take the resistance of 1 meter length of the distributor that is there. Okay, so I have, so what should I do? What should I do to find out the resistance? We have a simple equation, R equals rho L by A. Okay, so this what is that? So if you want to express it in meter, you can express it. So rho L by A. Okay, so area of cross section is 1 centimeter squared, and you can see that it is go and the return conductor. So that is the reason why I have multiplied it by 2. Okay, so this is the centimeter conversion that is there, and here we are directly taken it as 1 centimeter. Okay, so you want to find out the resistance of 1 meter length of the distributor, that is resistance 1 meter. For 1 meter you have 3.4 into 10 power minus 4 ohm. Okay, that is what you get there. Okay, so similarly, can you find out the resistance of all the sections? Find out the resistance of all the sections. Janavi, can you help it out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just finish it. The resistance of each section.
So resistance at section AC is 0.034.
Okay,
Then resistance at section CD and DE both are 0.051.
good.
Then for resistance at EF and FB. Both will be 0.034.
Okay, okay, very good answer. Yeah, Janavi. Next, Bhavana KS. Can you let me know what is the value of current IA? So how will you find out current IA? Bhavana KS, is she there? Okay, she is not there. Okay. Yes, I think Kusuma, can you help me out in getting the value of current IA? Kusuma, yes. I hope I'm audible. Kusuma, yes. Okay. Next, Rohan. Rohan, are you there? Suprita D. Swati Hebbar. Suprita D and Swati Hebbar. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. So, can you help me out in finding out the value of current IA? Take with the help of your calculator. So, I want to find out what is the minimum potential. That is the first point that I keep in mind. And to find out the minimum potential, I want the current IA. Okay. First, I want the current IA. Okay. So, how do I find out the current IA? So, I have the minimum potential at B minus A, okay, whatever that is there, minus drop over the length AB, okay. So if I take the point as A as the first feeding point, so I'll be taking the drop over the length, okay. So if I want to find out the current IA, always remember the value of current IA will not be negative, okay. The value of current IA will not be negative, okay. So let me start right now. So if I have the voltage at B, that would be equal to voltage at A minus drop over length AB. Okay, so that is given by VB equals VA minus the drop over the length AB, that is IA into RAC plus IA minus 20 into RCD plus IA minus 60 into RDE plus IA minus 110 into REF plus IA minus 140 into RFB. Okay, so all those things I have to substitute it, and the different sections, that is one thing that we have to keep in mind: RAC, RCD, RDE, REF, and RFD. Okay, so we have to substitute that, and we have to find out the value in terms of IA. Okay, so that is what we are going to find out. The values of point 204 IA, that would be equal to 12.58. Okay, so the value of IA will be 161.7 amperes. Okay, so can you verify your answers, what you're getting? Verify the answers, what you're getting is the same. Okay, so now I got the value of current IA, so I have to find out the different currents. Okay, I want to find out the different currents in each sections, that is the various sections of the distributor. So how was the currents that are distributed? Okay, so let us start right now. So I want to find out the minimum potential. Okay, so if I want to find out the minimum potential, so how will I find out? Fine, so that is the current is 61.7 amperes. Okay, so if I take 61.7 amperes from point A, 20, so that will be 41.7 over here. Next, again you go here, and you have the point of minimum potential where there is a change in the current section. Okay, where there is a change, point E is taken as the point of minimum potential. Okay, point E is taken as the point of minimum potential, or we call it as minimum consumer voltage. Okay, so if I want to find out the minimum consumer voltage, VE, that would be equal to VA minus the drops in all the three sections. Okay, so how will I find out the drop in all the three sections? That is 61.7 minus 20, that will be 41.7, and you will be having 61.7 minus 110, so that is minus 48.3. Okay, so you have E to F, which is minus 48.3, and F to E, you can also write it as 48.3 in a positive way. Minus is there, plus is there. Okay. Yes, Hashmit. Hashmit Ram. Hashmit Ram, if you got a query. Hashmit Ram.
No, sir, I clicked it by mistake, sir.
Okay, Hashmit. Are you getting to know what I'm teaching here?
Yes, sir, I'm understanding, sir. I'm doing it, sir.
Okay, can you let me know whether you will get 215.69? Can you find out and share the answer to the group?
Yes, sir, I will calculate, sir.
Okay, what is the answer, Hashmit Ram? What is the point of minimum potential? Vinit Samson? What is the minimum potential point? So if you get the minimum potential point, that would be three sections voltage drop that you need to take. Okay. So AC, CD, and DE. So if you find out the potential drop in all the three sections and 220 minus the potential drop in all the three sections, you will be getting it as 215.69. Okay. So that is the answer what you are going to get there. Fine. So let's move on to the next one, that is unequal voltages. Okay. So if I have an unequal voltage, what I'll be doing. Okay. So let us note down this question. A two-wire DC distributor AB is fed at both ends. At feeding point A, the voltage is maintained at 230 volt, and at B it is 235 volt. Okay, the total length of the distributor is 200 meters, and the tapping is taken like this. So from A 50 meters it is 25 amperes, and 50 amperes at 75 meters from A, 30 amperes 100 meters from A, 40 amperes at 150 meters from A. Okay, so the resistance per kilometer of one conductor is zero point 0.3 ohm. Calculate the currents in various sections of the distributor and minimum voltage and the point at which it occurs. Okay, so that is what we are going to find out, and let us go in detail right now. Okay. Identify that. So you can identify that you will be having the potentials maintained at different values. So that is unequal voltages. Okay. So I want to find out how shall I solve this problem once I have the unequal voltages. Okay. So you are going to take the difference of voltages and voltage drop across the entire distributor length. Okay. That is what we are going to do here. Fine. So let me draw this distributor length. So I'm just giving an like simple way. in which I can write down the current directions, and let me see what would be the minimum voltage and at which point it occurs. Okay, so let me find out. So the resistance of the distributor of 100, that is, yeah, that is 1000 meter length. Okay, considering both the wires, if I want to find out, so what it would be. Okay, so it would be 2 into 0.3. Why it is 0.3? So resistance per kilometer is there. Okay, so I have 6. Yeah, what is the total length of the distributor? Yeah, sorry, it is 200 meters. So for 1 kilometer, it is 0.3. What would be the length for 200 meters? So what would be the resistance for 200 meters? And at each section, what would be the resistance offered by each section of a distributor AB? Okay, that is what we are going to find out. Fine. So that is 2 into 0.3, that would be 0.6. Okay. So what do I need to find out? Each section's resistance that is given here. Okay. Yeah. So now Chetan, 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 are you there?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, Chetan. So now I want you to find out the resistance in each section.
Yes, sir. I'll solve you and I'll update, sir.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kusuma, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Kusuma, similarly, after Chetan is done with resistance of each section, you find out what is the current that is flowing, IA. Okay? So I want every one of you to solve it.
Yes, sir.
Quite simple. Can you update it quickly?
Sir, for the section of A and C,
Yeah, you tell me the answers.
yes, sir. I'm getting 0.03.
Yeah, you tell everything you tell. I'll verify it
And
at once.
for section of C and D, I'm getting the same. For D and D, I'm getting 0.01. And for section EF, I'm getting 0.019, like approximation 0.02. For resistance of the section F and B, I'm getting 0.03. So AC is equal to CD is equal to FB is equal to 0.3, and section of D is 1 and section of D is 0.02.
Okay, 1 minute. Are you verifying the answers on the screen right now?
Just a second, sir. I'll check.
Verify what I have shared on the screen. Okay, so I'll tell you right now the resistance of 1 kilometer length, that is considering both the wires, that is the go and the return conductor, that is 2 multiplied with 0.3. Okay, so in the problem it is mentioned as 0.3 ohm as the resistance per kilometer of one conductor. Okay, so that is the reason why we will be having it 2 into 0.3 directly, which is written as 0.6 ohm. Okay, so for 1000-meter length of the distributor, considering both the wires, it is 0.6. Okay, so now what I want to find out the resistance of this section AC. Okay, so it is having a length of 50 meter. Okay, so for 1000-meter length of the distributor, both wires, that is 0.6. So what will be the resistance for 50 meter? Okay, so that is the thing what you need to keep in mind. That is 0.6 into 50 divided by 1000. You will be getting it as 0.03 ohm. Okay, similarly, if you change only the distance, that is the section length here, you will be getting the resistance of all the sections. Okay, so if you change the sections length, that is 25 and 50, you will be getting the resistance of each section. Okay, Chetan, you can make a note of it. The section
Yes, sir.
AC, it is 0.03 ohm. Okay, so CD, what you have done is you have to keep only the section length, that is 25. Okay, so you will be getting it as 0.015 ohm. Any doubts here, Chetan? I think you
No, sir,
had
I had stopped it for 2 decimal points, so I said the answer of 0.01. I'll write it for 3 decimal places, sir.
Yeah, it is 0.015. I think you can keep it up to 3 decimal points, no problem.
Sure, sir, sure.
Okay, I think the answers are same with yours, what you have done. Can you share it again?
Yes, sir. The answers were same, sir. For the CD section and D section, I stopped it till 0.01. If 3 decimal places, then I'm getting 0.0153.
Okay then. Okay. 0.015. Okay. 1513 is also fine. Okay. No problem. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Kusuma. I want Kusuma to share the answers now. Kusuma, what is the value of current IA?
Sir, I'm getting 33.33 amperes, sir.
Yes, very good. So it is 33.33 amperes. Fine. So it is at different potentials. Potential B is higher and potential A is lower. Okay. And 235 minus 230. Okay. So that is where you are going to get the value of current IA. In the section AC also, you will get the value of the same current, that is 33.34. Okay. Can you tell the currents in different sections, Kusuma? Because we want
Yes,
to
sir.
find out the minimum potential. Can you share the currents in different sections
Sir,
and find out the minimum?
current in section AC is 33.34 amperes, sir.
Next, current
Current
in
in
CD.
section CD 8.33.
Okay, next current in EF, DE and EF.
41.65, sir.
Okay, is it a positive sign or a negative sign?
Negative, sir.
Yeah, so it means that the current is flowing from E to D. Okay, so similarly, you find out current in section EF and FB. So what is the point of minimum potential again? So the point of minimum potential is not E, it is D. Are you getting it? So the point of minimum potential is D. Okay, so if I want to find out VD, that would be equal to VA minus IAC into RAC plus ICD into RCD. Okay, so the point at minimum potential is 228.875 volts. Okay, so verify it again and you can share the answers later in the group. Okay, so verify it whether are we getting the same answers or not and verify it in the group. Okay, post it in the group. Okay, fine. So these are a bit of important problems that are there, and this is again an unequal potential. So I want okay. I want Hashmit Ram to solve it. Want this problem. I've already shared it in the group. I want Hashmit Ram to solve it. Next. So this one, 13.13. I want Lekana to solve it. Okay. So I hope the problems are clear. So understand the problem one and share it. Okay. So I want problem number 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I want the problem 1, 2, and 3, which is a tutorial problem. So I want problem number 1, Dhanush HS. Okay, next, Nitish Pinto. Next, Vinith Samson. Okay, so problem number 1, problem number 2, problem number 3, respectively. Okay, so I want them to solve it and share it in the group. Okay, I hope it is clear.